Welcome back to TG2, and the UFC is back, which means I'm back. It's early, I look like shit, I feel like shit, but it doesn't matter, because Dana White brought the UFC back. He said, fuck all that, right? We're fighting men. And to be honest, after getting more stats about the age ranges that COVID affects, he's well within his rights, to be honest with you. You know, if you look into it, ignore the headlines, look at the numbers. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And as I predicted originally, the UFC did this, went off without a hitch. They actually did catch someone who had COVID. They made sure they didn't fight. Everything worked perfectly. Well done, the UFC. Well done, honestly. This was a slick operation, and I hope other sporting organizations can get their finger out and realize just how simple this can be made. So Tony Ferguson went head to head with Justin Gaethje, and I just thought this is not a great matchup. Like, styles make fights, and I never fancied Tony's stand-up game versus Justin's. And Justin's got that reverse wrestling that Chuck Liddell used to use back in the day, where, you know, he doesn't really implement it to take you down, but he keeps you up with his wrestling. I think he's like one of the few fighters to have no submission attempts and no takedown attempts in the UFC. That is insane. Like, even fucking McGregor's went for a takedown before. Yeah, I had a bit of a flashback to the Kevin Lee Tony Ferguson fight, where Kevin Lee had staph infection and was still lighting Tony up, and I thought, you know, he's hard. Tony is a hard motherfucker, but you can be as hard as you like, but technique works. Justin Gaethje has really learned from his losses. Like, you can see in this fight, he was much more controlled in his aggression, but when he landed, and without that crowd, fuck me, you can hear the crack. There's part of me that actually prefers it without a crowd. Like, it's great at the end when they celebrate, and I enjoy that, but just to hear the thuds and the smacks on the chin, it really gives you appreciation of just how tough a man like Tony Ferguson is, because he should have been out many times. And to be fair, he cracked Justin Gaethje at the end of that second round, and really, many people would have gone out then, so credit to both men. I mean, this might be like as tough as it gets in the UFC, these two. But before the fight, I did think that Gaethje would possibly win with a knockout. I thought it would be a quick one, you know what I mean, where he just blasts through. I mean, this guy had 4 first-round knockouts in a row, I think. Something like that, Justin Gaethje. So I thought, you know, you've been preparing for a wrestler in Khabib, and all of a sudden this guy with fast, powerful hands is coming in against you. You could catch him. But it wasn't even that. This was a sustained beating, bullying. It was the level in difference between Tony Ferguson and Gaethje was shockingly different. We seen someone who in Tony has been so good for so long, and the sad thing is the guy hasn't actually won a world title. Like, for all we feel like he's a champion, he's never been champion. It's always been Conor or Khabib or whoever else. He's been interim for the whole time, so he can't even look back at his career now. It's a little bit Chael Sonnen-esque, you know what I mean, where you think you were elite, but it just didn't fall for you on that night. But Justin Gaethje just came in and showed, like, fuck me, he has evolved, he's made the changes, and he is in the top 3 in that weight class now, potentially top 2. And towards the end, when he is just leathering the fuck out of Tony Ferguson, and you are wondering, how the fuck is he still going? I mean, we thought Nate Diaz was a zombie. You know, Nate Diaz has nightmares about a man like Tony Ferguson. That's how hard Tony Ferguson is. I mean, they're about the same, I'm only joking, but this, I'm just trying to put it in a perspective for you guys. Like, what a fight. But at the end, when Justin Gaethje cracks his orbital bone, and you just see, like, I mean, it'd been coming as well, like, because he was just losing the will. You could see he'd been broken, but he was so finished. For him to still have that level of consciousness, but just like a little old man at the end, like, you know, just like, don't hit me, like, you broke Tony Ferguson. Like, that's more than a belt. One of the toughest people ever to step foot in the octagon, and Tony Ferguson's just like sort of hobbling back, shaking his head, please. So I thought Justin would win. I had him on my bet, but I didn't think he'd win like that. And looking at him versus Khabib is so interesting, because we've seen Khabib struggle with people who are scrappy, who can keep the fight on the feet, like Alaya Quinta. I think this is a similar fight to that, only harder. If what I've heard is true, which you hear from people like Chael Sonnen and DC about the level of wrestling that Gaethje has, if he can keep this on the feet, make no mistake, Khabib Nurmagomedov is fucked. Khabib's stand-up is good. It's not bad at all, but the level is a massive jump up to Gaethje. I think Gaethje's way better at fighting on the feet than Khabib. However, stopping a Khabib takedown is going to be really, really, really hard. The point I'm making isn't that I think Khabib's going to lose. I just think that this might be his toughest matchup stylistically to date. I think a motivated, fit Conor is also a challenge. Conor just didn't look anywhere near his normal self in that first Khabib fight, and part of that is because Khabib was good. I'd still be interested in that as well. So I think we've got the most interesting weight class in the UFC right now, for me. But Conor's been talking, and you can see he seems to really mean what he's saying in these tweets. I wish he'd just put this out in a fucking video so you could actually hear it from his mouth. So the first thing he confirms is that he's happy to get back in the octagon without a crowd, which was a bit of an issue because you've got to remember how much money people pay to go and watch him. But he said, "It will be my fucking pleasure to display the power I possess with zero background noise." Dark, that, innit? That's dark. I like it. I love Tony. We represented him amazingly at Paradigm Sports. Conor acts as if he's the one who's literally going and marketing Tony. I don't know. But his frame and preparation were embarrassing. His methods and conversation, humorous, enjoyable, but he was never on the level he was perceived at. I agree, he wasn't on the level skill-wise that people perceived him at. You just have to watch the Kevin Lee fight and the Justin Gaethje fight to realise, stand-up-wise he wasn't. Still got to fucking give it up to him. He's still top 5, maybe top 3, but he just never was number 1, and I think a lot of people thought he was. Conor's claiming it's Dustin Poirier versus Tony Ferguson next. I actually think that's a really good idea. They're both, right up there, but also suffering a loss here and there. It'd be great to find out where they are. Conor really throws Dustin under the bus. Yeah, he basically says Dustin will beat him also if changes are not made, which they won't be. So I think he's basically saying Tony just can't evolve. He is what he is. However, then refers to Dustin's career as a couple of wins here and there, then folded in half, rinse and repeat. He's got a hell of a way of summing someone's career up in one sentence. That is not fair. That is not fair. Dustin evolved from a featherweight and really became a serious force at lightweight and didn't do terribly against Khabib. All right, he lost, but he's a bit like Simon Cowell, Conor, when he critiques fighters, yeah. Then he directly speaks to Justin Gaethje, and he says, Justin, there is no danger in a man that hugs legs. We all know. You can get strangled to death. Try and dance around what the real threat is here all you want. I am going to fucking butcher you. Your teeth, I'm going to put them on a fucking necklace. I love that. That is so, you find out what real dark shit these fighters think about sometimes. Because you have to have that. It's not all sportsmanship and Anthony Joshua's laugh. Some of you have to go deep inside and want to kill someone to actually train to the level these guys do. Stay hungry, stay humble. Not always. Sometimes murderer. That's what these guys are like, you know what I mean? Speak on my skills as a father, you are fucking dead. I'm assuming that's how he would have said it. That is a good line because Gaethje was speaking mad shit about Conor's personal life, and there's some things you just leave. Do you know what I mean? But then Conor can't really talk because he said everything and anything about anyone. Although he can't talk, he is still tweeting by the looks of it. No true American would speak so highly of or allow a convicted member of a jihadi terror cell represent them. Never forget that. Of course, he's talking about the manager of Khabib and Justin Gaethje, Ali Abdelaziz, who was he MMA fighter, also apparently was in a terrorist group and then turned double agent for the government as well. So he's a character, that one. That would be an interesting podcast because he does represent so many fucking MMA fighters now. And he must be doing something for them. He's always there in suits. Khabib, you absolute embarrassment. Scurrying, hiding, rat as usual. I think he's basically saying because Khabib didn't turn up for the fight and then Justin handed Tony's arse to him. So he's putting the blame on Khabib for not being the one to make the mega fight happen. And then he says, I'll see you all in July. And after the demolition job I'm going to do on this slot, it's up to 170. It's a lot to unpack there. The lightweight division is so interesting right now. You've got sort of a triangle here of, Khabib at the top, Gaethje number 1 contender, and then Conor McGregor wherever he fits into this. You could potentially have a situation where they can all beat each other in a way. Gaethje might be able to keep it standing long enough to fuck Khabib up on the feet. But on the flip side, if Gaethje then tries to stand with Conor, which he probably would, Conor, in my opinion, will have too much for him. And Conor's wrestling is probably good enough to just keep it standing against Gaethje. But Conor's wrestling isn't good enough to keep it standing against Khabib. So if he wins the title back, maybe Khabib could then come and beat him. It's going to be really interesting to find out who's number 1. Right now, you'd probably bet on Khabib, but fuck me, he's got a couple of really big fights coming. I just wish the guy would fight more now. You know what I mean? I want to see the title defended. I don't know what's going to happen with Russia and what their situation is, but I think a lot of people are going to be writing Conor off for how he fought against Khabib and just think that that's him against Khabib every time. I don't agree with that. I think it would be very interesting to see Conor come back motivated. He could win the title again. He really could. I fucking believe it. You might think I'm crazy, but especially if Gaethje beats Khabib. then I would put money on Conor to beat Gaethje in that fight. As hard as Gaethje is, I just think stylistically we could have a weakness there. I love talking about this stuff, by the way. It's so good to have the UFC back. Now, in the other title fight of the night, Henry Cejudo defended his bantamweight title against Dominick Cruz. Honestly, Cruz was complaining about the stoppage. Yeah. All right, you were kind of getting back up to your feet, but trying to get back up to your feet while someone is clattering the fuck out of your skull. I struggle to support that argument, especially because what a knee it was, the way he went down. Cruz was having a decent second round. Fair enough, but Cejudo never looked in danger, did he? I mean, he was chopping at the legs, he was moving forward the entire time, no respect. Cejudo, for all we find him a bit cheesy and a bit annoying, that company needs him to carry that lightweight division, because there's a star coming, right? There's a young kid who's going to be ferocious and talented and inspired by a Henry Cejudo, and if we don't have that division coming strong and Cejudo carrying it, it'll die out, you know what I mean? And that would be a shame. Henry Cejudo's record lately has been a who's who. I mean, he beats Mighty Mouse, who everyone was banging on as number one pound for pound. Joe Rogan, the lot. He beat him. Then he goes and makes it official by smoking TJ Dillashaw, who a lot of people were also saying pound for pound number one, and he was on the juice. Then Moraes gives him one hell of a first round. I mean, it wasn't like he's never had adversity. The guy really had to dig deep. You know, as a title winning performance, when he bit down on that gum shield and went, I'm gonna fucking go to war with this prick, and broke Moraes, that was spectacular. Then capping it off, beating a legend like Dominick Cruz. Alright, he's had time out the ring, but you can't take anything away from Henry Cejudo. Gold medalist, 2-weight world champion. He's retired. I don't know, a lot of people are thinking this is a contract play, wants better money. He's 33, you know, and in that weight class, speed is a huge deal, and that's one of the first things to go as you get older. So I see his point. The weight classes won't be the same without him. I hope he reconsiders. He's a personality and he's a fucking hell of a talent, and as much as people might be triggered by him, he reminds me of like a Randy Couture or this like born winner mentality. Like that doesn't come along very often. Like John Jones is kind of like that. Like you got a few who just like, they just win. Like he's a special fighter, him. As for Dominick Cruz, he's still a legend. He looked good in the second round after having all those years out. For a UFC commentator and a really highly respected personality in the UFC to go on as if the referee was drunk and all that, mate, you've got dropped and smashed. I don't think Henry Cejudo's the type of guy who's going to let that go. I think he just could have dealt with it better. On to the heavyweights now. Ngannou versus Rosenstrike. Everyone was salivating over this. Like, what a fucking war this could be. And it was Ngannou doing what Ngannou does, just ripping through people like a hot knife through butter. You know, Rosenstrike, just when those big fists are flying towards your face, it's hard to deal with it, and he just fuck, and eventually bang, 20 seconds gone. Rosenstrike will be back though. I mean, like, you know, getting fucked up off fucking Ngannou, who like flatlined Cain Velasquez, is so nothing to be ashamed of. But for Ngannou, he's been waiting so long for another title shot since Stipe beat him. The longer this goes on, DC's getting older. Stipe doesn't look the fighter he was, in my opinion. Ngannou just looks like he's getting better with age. He looks like he's getting more experience, and I fancy his chances against any human being walking this planet. For me, Ngannou's the heavyweight champ right now. The DC and Stipe have dragged this out so long. Sick of waiting on them two to pick a winner. Like, just get in the fucking cage and get it over with, because I'm bored. I'm absolutely bored of that rivalry. Like, partly it's Stipe. Like, I just find him, the struggle to understand what the fuck he's saying. Just as a character, he's not sellable. You know what I mean? Like, I get he's a firefighter and that's cool, and like, good on him, you know what I mean? And he's a good fighter, like, he's a great fighter. Ngannou would be so much better as that scary heavyweight champion that the UFC could market as their version of a Mike Tyson, you know what I mean? Like, terrifying guy. Even though he's actually weirdly lovely. Like, he seems like the nicest guy. I think the first fight against Stipe, he blew his load in 5 minutes. He doesn't do that again. Next time, I think he beats Stipe, and he does it in devastating fashion. To be honest, that's if Stipe can make it past Cormier, because let's not forget, alright, it was a great final round from him against Cormier, but Stipe was struggling for a lot of that fight. And out of however many rounds that he's fought, Cormier, what has he won? 2 out of 8? 1.5? I don't know. Like, I still think Ngannou for me number one now. He's just turned the corner. Bit like Gaethje, you know, he's made adjustments and he's just devastating. Daniel Cormier just said, if Stipe Miocic won't fight, it's going to be me and Ngannou for the title. So there we have it. I actually think that that's a really challenging fight for both men. You know, you got Ngannou's punching power, but wrestling from Cormier. Fantastic fight. Personally, if I'm Daniel Cormier, I don't see what he needs to prove now. He's a 2-weight world champion. Give it up. You know, all right, part of that was the John Jones thing, but he was a legit heavyweight champion. All right, we're going to end the video on GSP's induction into the UFC Hall of Fame. If we're going to go off who deserves to be in there, he's right up there. I mean, from my era when I first started watching MMA of Chuck Liddell, Tito, and Randy, they were sort of, you know, one-trick ponies kind of. They were kind of good at a couple of things, but he was like the new breed to me when I started watching it, when him and Anderson Silva were defending their titles religiously, and he was the first guy to really put it all together and be good at everything. I mean, he wasn't great at stand-up, but he was great at everything else and good at stand-up. So he was that first fighter who was the total package. So strong, so fit. I didn't think he was nasty though. He was always quite a nice guy, and there was a lot of respect with him. He was quite likable. You know, the only things I really moaned about his career for were, I wish he'd fought Anderson. You know, that fight was there the whole time. We've seen Anderson struggle against wrestlers. That was JSP's best thing, but he never took the fight. And to be fair, Anderson was so devastatingly good at knocking people out and was doing it at light heavyweight even. JSP is like, yeah, I'll just leave that one. You know, and when Michael Bisping was getting old and he was the champion, he's like, right, now I'm going to middleweight. That was one of the two things that pissed me off about GSP's career. The other one being when he greased the fucking hell out of himself before he fought BJ Penn, so he couldn't get a submission on him. But generally speaking, I've got a lot of respect for GSP, and the UFC was built on people like him having those long title reigns. And now we've got people like John Jones who are also the total package, but he was the first one to put it all together. So many good fights. I mean, there was a lot of boring ones where he was just on top of them wrestling, and I didn't love them, but I respected him. You know, he was a smart fighter. He took the fights where he needed to take them in order to win. And if I was a fighter, I'd do the fucking same thing. Congratulations to him. And now there's rumors that he might come back. There's talks of him fighting Usman. There's talks of, I don't see that happening. I think Usman's like the new breed of GSP even. I think that's a bad idea. You know, him fighting Khabib to be the first ever triple weight world champion would be interesting. If this is the last we've ever seen of him, unbelievable career, and he deserves all the credit. So that's it for today. Don't worry, the next time there's a big live UFC event, I will be doing a fucking live stream for it. Cheers, Boris. I mean, we're allowed to now, aren't we? Really? I don't know what the fuck we're allowed to do. That's the point. I'm hoping we can do a fucking live stream at some point. But anyway, until then, hit the like button, stay subscribed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.